Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to make today I'm going to answer one question. And I'm not going to talk about anything else but this one question. Because I've already did this one question 3 times or 2 times and basically turned it into an hour-long video, which I know nobody wants to deal with. So let's try to make this quick and easy. One question, and one question only, because that's all I got. Sheila Hall. And before I answer this, I'll read this and give you my answer or my rhymes of reasons for my answers. Sheila Hall and Nellie have been with me for a long time. I think both of them have been with me since the beginning 2 years ago. Which, by the way, I have to deeply, truly say thank you. I don't know who else has been here since day one. I can easily find out by looking at all my subscribers. But you two have been here with me since before monetization. Literally, since day one. But Sheila asked me, Nellie answered Sheila's question and said he'll probably most likely pick Germany. Pretty darn close. But you'll understand why I just said that once I read this question. Sheila. Sorry, I was arguing with myself. Asks, if I could live anywhere, would I rather live in the U.S., Germany, or Norway? Those are the 3 countries she asked. She didn't. I guess she forgot that my interest and love for Ireland and Scotland. So I'm going to throw those 2 in the mix. Let me talk about Ireland and Scotland before I talk about the other 3 countries. Ireland and Scotland, the reason why I would be interested in living there, or at least going and visiting for an extended period of time, is because of family ancestry from my mom's side of the family that we know about. I don't know much about dad's side of the family, but I know there is some Scots-Irish in both sides of the family. So I would want to go there just out of curiosity and interest. Not only about the landscape, but maybe find a place that have a hall of records so I can look up some of the names I know about, or at least some of the last names, like Campbell. I think Campbell is one of them. I could probably find the names out faster if I just looked at tartan colors and patterns. Tartan, or as most people here in America would say, kilts, clan colors. But let's go talk about Germany and Norway first, because the U.S. is going to have a long list of reasons. Reasons for not being here and reasons for being here. Germany, yes, I would, if I could, I would live in Germany. The reason why is because I know more about Germany than Norway. Now, the thing about Germany is, I'm not going to go into the childhood culture shock or anything that had to deal with when I was there. Because there's a lot of places about Germany or in Germany that I would like to go see that I did not get to see as a kid. A lot of things I did not get to experience as a kid, like Oktoberfest in full bloom. In fact, Marguerite, Margaret, is somebody I work with. Margaret told me that her and her fiance are going to go to Germany in time for Oktoberfest and asked me what kind of alcohol to stay away from. I cannot give you a full answer because there are alcohols in Germany that we don't get here in the States from Germany because of how potent they are, their proofage. Here in America, we will only accept a certain proof, like maybe 75% alcohol proof here in the States because it's too potent for us, or too illegal for us to have anything above 75 or some number like that. I don't know what number exactly. But One of the alcohols that I have been told about not to drink because of their potency and the possible dangers, and that would be the gold leaf. And what I mean by the gold leaf is it is a bottle with gold flakes floating around in the alcohol. Now, I don't know what it tastes like, but I was told the reason why you don't want to really drink large amounts of that is, one, it is a very potent, like almost 200 plus proofage by the US standards. And the gold leaves, if you drink too much of it, could cause damage to your stomach because of the acids of your stomach trying to cook or burn off the gold. That, in fact, the gold could start lining your intestinal tract, which could cause blockage and other issues, which will need surgical removals. At least that's what I was told. I don't know. I've never drank it. I don't even know what it looks like, except for what I was told. If you're looking for, depending on what you like to drink, basically any of their seasonal alcohol, their seasonal beers, or ale as they call it, go ahead and drink any of those. Most of their beers are okay. My preference would be, if I went down there, would be the wine, because I'm more of a wine person than a beer person. Or if I were to drink anything other than wine, it would be like their smoother, less potent varieties of alcohol. If when you get to Germany, sorry Sheila, I will answer your question. If you go to Germany, since I lived in the area, go along the Mosel River, you'll find a small town called Zell, Zell. It is a wine town. It basically has its own winery called shoot, I don't know how to pronounce it, in Schwarzkatze, Black Cat. It is a very good winery and it has some very good wines. I do remember that because I was able to buy that particular winery here in the U.S. when I was in. I found one bottle of it here in America, in New York, and they never got it back. But they got something else back that you can purchase here in the States. But if you can find it in Germany, you might enjoy it. It is called Liebe Frau Milch, Milk of the Virgin. I don't know exactly what winery it's made in Germany, but it is a nice, sweet, smooth wine. And that's how I don't like dry wines. I like sweet wines. So yeah, when you're in Germany, don't go into the hardcore liquor unless you want to see how long you can last drinking that. When you go to the Oktoberfest, try to stick with beer or wine. Make sure you don't do the mistake my cousin made when he was out there. He went to Germany specifically for Oktoberfest and he got blitzed. I mean, blitzed to the point where he passed out where he was sitting. Don't do that. Because one, you may wake up in a guest house or somebody's house. Or if they just let you sleep it off right where you are, don't be surprised if you find a very weird looking hat on your head. Because, yeah, most Germans are strong enough to handle their liquor and be able to stumble into a guest house. Or sometimes they have these tents, I was told this, they have these tents where they set up cots. So those who couldn't drive home or get to the guest house, they just lay them on a cot sometimes. But do enjoy it. I mean, don't go like bonkers or anything like that, but do go enjoy it. I mean, the food will probably be excellent. The for a single guy, it would be a perfect place to maybe find and pick up a nice German girl. Not that I can do that anymore, but I've heard stories. In fact, one person I knew from the military, that's how he got married. Is he went to Oktoberfest, and this one German girl was sweet on him, and he fell in love with her after Oktoberfest and married her in Germany and got visas and whatnot, and came back to the States. But Oktoberfest is really a month-long feast of all kinds of foods, breads, beers, alcohol, wine, the whole 9 yards. But that's not why I would go back to Germany if I could, even though it would be one of the fun things to do. Be able to see how strong my genes are when it comes to drinking. I know I can drink. I used to be able to. I've cut back because of my wife and my health. Like around here, a bottle of wine. Well, not here, but before I started slowing down for a lot of different reasons, a bottle of wine or mead would be lucky to last a week. Especially during the holidays. That's when I tend to drink more. But I'm not drinking as much as I used to. A bottle of mead nowadays can last a month. And I try to drink it before it starts to start souring. Because unlike most Americans, I like my my wine. Well, I like wine at a chilled temperature. I like my mead warm, because it helps the circulation. I mean, there's more benefits in mead than any other, wine, which mead is considered a wine. It's considered honey wine. But that's just me. But Germany would definitely be one of the places I would like to live if I could, because familiarity, food, culture, friendliness, the whole shebang. As for Norway, I really don't know, because I've researched Oslo, because that's like one of the biggest artsy fartsy cultural places to go in Norway. But I've never been there, so I don't know if I could live there, because I've done my research, and it's like, well, in order for you to be able to live and survive in Norway, one, you have to be able to speak the language fluently. Two, you'd have to be able to prove your worth of keeping you or letting you stay in Norway. So they say if you want to be a Norwegian citizen, first off, get a visa. Get a visa for, a couple months to go up there, live, try to find a home, try to find a job and whatnot. You can extend that 7-month visa. So I would suggest, if you wanted to live and breathe and whatnot, or basically survive in Norway, first thing you need to do is get yourself at least a 1-year visa, or whatever the maximum amount of time they allow you to get as a prospective citizen. Second off, even before you get your visa, learn basic Norwegian, because from what I understand, maybe not Oslo, but most of Norway, if you cannot speak basic Norwegian, you're SOL. Try, once you learn basic Norwegian, or even, you don't have to be fluent, but you have to be able to understand it, read it, write it, at least basic Norwegian. Start looking for a job. Because as soon as you get that visa, and you can get a job as soon as you basically get off the boat or plane in Norway, you're set. You're pretty much set. You can start proving that you're going to be a Norwegian. You're planning on staying there for a very long time, and then apply for a permanent visa. Yeah. Last steps to becoming a Norwegian. So if I was going to live there, that's exactly what I'd have to do. I'd have to learn Norwegian, the language, written and verbal. I have to be able to get at least a short visa and a job, or a job and a place to live. Basically, that's what they tell you the requirements are for becoming a Norwegian citizen. You have to be able to speak the language. You have to be able to prove your address or your residency, and then you'd have to prove that you have a job. Even if it's just a simple fast food, get your foot in the door type job, it's a job. You know? But the reason why I would consider Norway as a place to live is because of Ancestry. Trying to learn more about my ancestors, where they're from, in their own country, not from books. That's the way I would prefer to do it, is firsthand. But since I don't have the money nor the linguistic skills or an address or a job, it ain't going to happen. As for the U.S., I am in the U.S. not just because of the fact that I am a U.S. citizen by governmental standards, and I have a permanent visa for our permanent Social Security number, whatever it is that they determine your citizenship. I have realized a long time ago, even though there is a lot of things about America that I'm not happy with, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other people in this country that are not happy with certain things, we could, as American citizens, and if our government would be smart, our government system would be smart enough, take a lot of advice or ideas from other countries to make this country better. I'm not going to go into details. There's a lot of things from Europe that if we use it here in America, one, there'd be less pollution. Two, a lot more people would be happier than they currently are. And three, I think our government would run a little bit smoother. Now, the other problem that I see with America, and I'm going to state problems before I state other things. America as a whole needs to wake up. Needs to really wake up and become aware of not just their little corner of the world, but the whole planet, possibly even the whole universe. Because I think too many American people walk around and live their lives with blinders on because they don't want to see what's going on around them. They want to see what they want to see, and that's it. The other problem with America is because we are literally the mixing pot of the world. We have literally every skin tone, every nationality, every creed, culture, belief system. We have literally everything the world could offer when it comes to a lot of different things. Some of it positive, a lot of it has become negative. And it's not that we're taking in the negativity from other countries. We're creating our own negativity within our own borders. Now, the other problem is we've got 51, I don't know how many, it's been a long time since I've numbered or counted all the different states we have in this country. We have too many borders. And what I mean by that is every state in the union has their own set of rules and regulations when it comes to certain governmental things. I think we need to literally just wipe the nation free of borders. Take away all the borders. There are no individual states. It's one country. Because that's exactly what we are according to what I grew up with when we were doing the national anthem or the morning anthem or whatever it was. I can't remember what it's called anymore. It's been so long. Where we literally stated one nation under God. So if we're one nation under God, why do we have to worry about borders and every state having their own set of rules and regulations? All the states should go by the federal rules and regulations set up by our president and our senators. Okay, I'm not even going to say senators, our representatives. Okay, which I don't think they represent us, the people, anymore. They represent themselves and the bigwig companies that can hand them over money saying, don't pass that bill because it will deplete or cause problems with our companies. All right. That's why I think the one person that stated it once is correct. Just like the president, every 4 years we should choose a new senator. We should have a new representative on Capitol Hill for our state. But if we didn't have state borders and it was all ran by federal, government, not individual states adding on their whatever, I think that's a big problem here in America. We've got too many people sitting up on Capitol Hill for too long who are not appeasing the people. They're appeasing themselves and the Fortune 500 companies. No other country that I've ever lived in or heard about or researched deals with that. No. They do not accept bribery. They do not accept Fortune 500 companies who aren't thinking about the people. This is supposed to be a land under God, for the people, by the people. Not for the senator, by the corporation. No, it's people, by people. I don't remember anybody coming to my door or sending me a letter asking me to vote on anything other than presidents and senators and governors. I don't remember them coming to me saying, hey, should we put a pipeline through America? I would have said, hell no. Too many possible issues that could cause problems, not only for people, but for our environment. I don't even remember the township of Rolla asking me if we should tear down a building that's been standing in Rolla since Rolla was a school of mines before it became a technical college. No, I don't remember anybody asking me if Rolla should have roundabouts. There are so many things decided by governments or politicians that they decide on their own without coming to the people to ask them if they should or should not do certain things. One person wanted to ridicule me or rebuke me for my dislike of strip mining or clear-cutting forests. That's one of the things that we do here in America. We just, hey, we need this. Let's destroy our landscape. Do you realize 90% of the material that comes out of a strip mining operation is unusable product? For every ton of dirt they pull out of these strip mines, these giant holes in the ground, only about 10% of the material in that ton is usable ore. What do we do with all that extra tonnage of unusable ground, dirt, rock, whatever? We don't even try to fill up the dang freaking hole that was dug in the first place. We just put it off to the side someplace. Or use it to create more land off the oceans. Why? Trying to find something real quick. This little piece of obsidian. Now, I'm pretty sure it was a bigger stone before they started to make it into a little thin worry stone that I can sit here and rub against when I've got stress or something like that. It's one little piece of obsidian. Or let's say the piece of obsidian that they might have broken up into other pieces to make jewelry was about this size. Okay? This size piece of obsidian. To get one stone this side of obsidian They literally had to dig probably about 50, no, probably about 1,000 pounds worth of ground to get a piece of obsidian this big. Unacceptable. Why? I'd rather find a piece of obsidian sitting on top of the ground like my ancestors did, instead of digging a 14-story size hole in the ground for a couple 100 pounds worth of obsidian. It's ridiculous. Our ancestors did not clear cut a whole forest, a whole football-sized acreage of land to create homes or farms. You know what the problem is? It's people. People. And I've seen more arrogant people here in America than I have any place on the planet. And most of the people who are clear-cutting forests and whatnot are not even from the country that they're clear-cutting forests. Yeah. We here in America, let alone South America, has destroyed such large acreages of old wood forests for what? More housing complexes, more gardening, more land to create food. There's too many people on the planet. Why do you think the planet comes up with these diseases that are very, very hard to fight? Look at 13th century. 13th century, nearly 30% or more people were wiped out by the bubonic plague, the deadliest plague known to man during that time. Smallpox, before they created a vaccine, killed many, many people. Now we have COVID and all its variances that are killing millions of people worldwide. What do you think the reasoning for these events, these deadly diseases happening at certain times of our history? What I'm about ready to say is probably going to cause a lot of people to get upset. But you have to think about these things outside of your box. My box keeps on getting bigger every time I start reading stuff or thinking about stuff. Look at it this way, and we're not going to talk about people. We're going to talk about the animal kingdom. The animal kingdom has a variety of predators on all parts of the globe. Here in America, we've got cougars, or mountain lions. Mountain lion, cougar, and panthers, of the Florida panther, they're all basically the same species of predatory cat, otherwise called a mountain lion or cougar. Then we have grizzly bears, packs of wolves, various other types of predatory animals here in North America. The wolves. We're going to talk about the wolves because I know more about the wolves than any other animal, because most of those other animals are solitary animals. Wolves have a specific coding within their DNA that gives them the ability to smell or sniff out a lame or weak member of a herd of elk or whatever animal they're preying upon. They don't go for the whole herd. They don't even try to go for the strongest. They are designed to cull or remove the weaker member of the species, whether it's because of illness or injury. That's what they're designed to do. They're designed to remove a member of the herd that could cause the whole herd to die. Look at diseases. Most diseases, and especially COVID, are basically doing the same thing a wolf will do. It's removing the very species or the very members of the human race that are basically causing issues with because of their diseases or whatnot for the rest of the planet. Bubonic plague did the same thing. It attacked and killed a very large number of the human species, just like COVID. COVID is basically our modern day version of the bubonic plague. It's a natural disease. It's a natural virus to remove diseased parts of the planet, mostly human beings. I know you don't like that idea, but scientifically, that is the truth. I know a lot of people don't like that scientific proving. Here's the other thing, and you got to look at it this way. Even without COVID, COVID's just making things happen faster. Even without COVID, if we continue to do the destruction we've done to the planet, clear-cutting forests and whatnot, we are removing the planet's ability to create oxygen from the carbon monoxide in the atmosphere. We need those trees. We need a certain number of trees, which God has already specifically designed and placed on the planet to help the planet, let alone us and all other living life forms, to live. So every time we remove a large segment of trees from the planet without replacing those trees, we are basically killing ourselves because we are taking away the planet's lungs. Plant life was designed to basically take the carbon out of the air from our lungs, the carbon we breathe out, or all these factories that are all over the world without proper scrubbing systems to remove heavy carbons or heavy toxins from the air. So it's bad enough that we're putting out extra amounts of carbon because of the carbon emissions from our cars, our factories, ourselves, and any other living form life form that has lungs. So if we continue to do what we're doing, let's say, I'm just throwing a number out. By the year 2050, 2060, we have removed 90% of plants, trees especially, because they're the largest plant life form, to take the carbon from the air. So the only thing that's going to be alive by 2050, 2060, just guessing, are animals that live in the water or very small microscopic, like bugs, basically, that don't need a lot of oxygen in the first place. People wonder, hey, how do we get holes in the ozone? Because of the amount of toxins that we put into our own skies, our own air. It's eating away the protective layer of the ozone that keeps all the radiation and whatnot from the sun cooking the planet, or just the radiation and various elements from space leaking into our atmosphere, which basically there is nothing in space that can keep us alive. That's why astronauts have to wear these special suits with these special oxygen generators and all that fun stuff. So if we continue doing what we're doing, it don't matter where I decide to live, because we're end up going to be killing ourselves in the first place just because of forestry being destroyed. For what? Mankind's arrogance that they need this space instead of learning to live in harmony and live in the trees like a lot of the Native Americans, or a lot of the Native South American people. Yeah, a lot of those people down there in South America, they lived up in the trees. They built their cottages and their homes up in the trees. Even today, a lot of those people who live that way live in the trees and not on the ground, because on the ground it's more death than up in those trees. There are various animals that roam around the forests and the jungles down in South America that can kill you, that you can keep at bay up in a tree. Yeah, you'll have to learn to live with the various species of monkeys and poisonous frogs that the only way they're poisonous is if you mess with them. But they're less likely to kill you. Down on the ground, you've got various types of lizards and snakes and jaguars, and I can keep going on and on and on. The other thing is, let's say we did live like our ancestors and we lived in harmony, not causing strife. And we lived in harmony with each other and the planet. If I'm not happy, if I am physically and spiritually and mentally not happy or not healthy, it does not matter where I go to live, because I'm carrying that with me. I can't just go, okay, I'm moving. Whoa. That's my bad. I'm moving out of America. I'm going to leave all my personal, emotional baggage in America and move to Europe. Can't do it. That emotional, psychological, spiritual baggage that keeps me from being 100% happy is going to travel with me no matter where I go, because it's a part of me. I have to learn how to be happy within my own spirit, my own skin, my own mind. Until then, it don't matter where I decide to go, because it's still going to be with me. So let's say I do have the money, or I have the ability to move to Germany or Norway. Those are the two countries that don't speak English. It's their second language, not their national language. But let's say I have the ability to move back to Germany, because at least German is a little bit easier for me to relearn than learning Norway from scratch. I'm not happy. I'm in a new country, but I'm still not happy. So all the things that made me unhappy while I was here in America, I'm going to start finding the things in that new place that could make me unhappy. Because for some reason, and this is all for everybody, when you're not happy, you look for the unhappy. So you have to be happy to look forward to a new place. Whether it's, let's say I decide to stay in America because I can't afford to move out of the country because of one thing or another, visa, language, job, whatever. But I move up to like Montana. I love Montana because I love Yellowstone National Park. Montana, Wyoming area, because that's where Yellowstone is. Most of it's in Wyoming. But I'm not happy. Spiritually and mentally, I'm not happy because I have my issues. Until I can work out those issues and get rid of those issues and learn how to contain or control those issues, it don't matter where I live, because they're going to be with me. Simple as that. We have to learn how to be happy with what we have, where we're at, and what's around us. If we cannot be content or happy with our belongings, our surroundings, or any of that, it won't matter. It won't even matter. Let's say I don't want to live in a specific state. I've got enough money to buy and pay for an RV, so I don't have to do anything but the insurance for the RV. Jerry Ann and I decided to live 365. It won't matter if we're not happy. We have to learn how to be happy. But anyhow, my wife was trying to get a hold of me because I've been out of the room for way too long trying to get this video done. And she interrupted it too. I'm not trying to complain, I'm just pointing out a fact. So that's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you do, put your thumbs up. More questions, comments, whatever, as long as they're not too long and don't feel like an attack, I will leave them up and read them. If you're new to my channel and you like some of the things I talked about today, you can choose to join. If you do, you can click the join button or subscribe button, and then a little bell will pop up, and then you click on that bell, and YouTube will let you know when I put in my next video. So until next time, you guys have a good day. Enjoy. Bye.